Hello. I have quite a lot of things that I want to say and discuss in this video, so I'm going to try to be as coherent as possible, but bear with me. So, first of all, I was debating internally for a while whether or not I should actually post any videos on my channel this week. I usually post on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays, and I didn't post anything on Tuesday, and I wasn't sure if I would post today or on Sunday. But my biggest audience is actually here on YouTube, and I've been posting on Instagram about Black Lives Matter, and so I thought it would be silly to be silent. In fact, it would be wrong to be silent on YouTube, where I have the biggest reach. So I'm making this video, and I will probably make one for Sunday as well. And like I said, I've got a lot of things I want to cover, but you will also find lots of links and things down in the description of my video, and if anybody has any other links that they want to share, then please do that in the comments. That would be great. I'm only one person and I'm doing my best, but there is a lot of information out there and I won't have found it all yet. So if you have anything to share, please use the comments to do that. The next thing I want to say is that I am going to be discussing, as you probably have gathered from the title anyway, Black Lives Matter at the beginning of this video, and then I'll be doing a brief wrap up of what I read in May towards the end. If this discussion upsets you, or makes you angry, or you disagree with it, feel free to leave those comments in the comment section. I'd much rather you leave them here than anywhere else. And you can also feel free to skip this video if that doesn't interest you. But if you do that, please also unsubscribe, because I don't need people subscribed to me who disagree with any of this, frankly. And think about your decision carefully, because this year, the year 2020, will go down in history. It will be taught in schools. People will learn about coronavirus and about Black Lives Matter, and the way people respond to this movement will be discussed outside of school, in school, for the rest of time. And so you need to ask yourself, what side of history do you want to be on? I know what side I want to be on, and I know what side I am on, and I know what side I should have been more actively on all along. I have not done enough, and it's unacceptable, and I'm sorry, and I will do better. Also, I want to make clear that I'm not trying to elevate my white voice in this situation. There are a lot of stories out there that need to be heard, and I urge you to go and watch those. There are tons of videos on IGTV right now. Go and watch them. I am simply making this video because silence doesn't help either, and the time for silence is way past. So I am going to share a few things with you now in this video. Some experiences that I've had, some opinions that I hold, and some of the things that I've done over the last week. I'm not saying any of this for validation, for thanks, for praise, for a pat on the back, for gratitude. None of that. I don't want to see any of that in the comments. That's not what this is about. This is about me discussing the situation so that more people can become aware of it, and this is about me sharing ideas. That's what we all need to do. If we're all going to be allies, and I hope that you will join me in being an ally and being anti-racist, then the best way for us to do that is to share ideas with each other and follow through on those ideas. So I'll be sharing some of the things that I've done in the hope that it helps give you some ideas, and maybe you can give me some ideas of what I can be doing as well. That would be really, really great. So please leave those in the comments as well. So firstly, I was bullied in school from the age of about 5 until 16. I was bullied for my hair. It's curly. I was bullied for the clothes that I wore. I was bullied for being clever and studious. I was bullied for my surname. I'm half Portuguese and I have a very Portuguese surname that I don't share online because there's only one of me in the world and I don't want all of you to be able to find every aspect of my life. I was bullied for my family. I was bullied for my Portugueseness. And so I know what it's like to feel hate from people around you. And I know what it's like to wake up in the morning before school and dread going. Even though I liked school, I dreaded going there. And I know what it feels like to be scared to go to a place because of the reaction you will receive from people. I suffer with anxiety and depression, and a lot of that is because of the bullying I experienced when I was younger. And I know what it's like to have to go to counselling for that. But you know what I don't know what it's like? I don't know what it's like to be bullied for the colour of my skin. And I don't know what it's like to fear leaving my house because of what might happen. I don't know what it's like to fear my family leaving their house because of what might happen. I don't know what it's like to fear what my career prospects are because of the colour of my skin. I don't know how any of that feels. I'm an empathetic person. I can try to understand how that feels, but I can't. I haven't experienced it, and guess what? I never will, because I'm white. And that's not okay. It's not okay, and it needs to change. And it's not just a case of, well, I would never be racist to somebody. That's not enough. It's not enough anymore. We need to stop racism from happening. We need to stop prejudice from happening. And if there's anything I have learned in the last week, it's that my white voice is much stronger than I realised it was, and I actually can do something to help this situation. And it's not going to change overnight. It's a long fight. We're in this for the long haul. You can't just share this video, share all of the posts that are happening all over social media at the moment and be done. You can't share a black square and be done. You need to do more. And not just publicly, but every day. So, these are a few of the things that I have done to try to help. So I have reposted a lot of stuff on social media. I have also read every single post that I've come across. I have watched every single video that I have come across, and I will continue to do that. I have watched some of the donation videos, for want of a better word, on YouTube. It's essentially you just stream them and the AdSense from those videos will go towards various charities that support the Black Lives Matter movement. I will link some of those down in the description, all the ones I've been able to find. I'm sure that there are more. If you know of any more, again, link them in the comments, watch them. What I do know is you can't just play those videos on loop. You have to leave, watch a different video, and then come back to it in like 2 to 5 videos time, otherwise the AdSense won't work. So that's why I've tried to find quite a few. I just leave them running in the background while I'm working, just on mute, running in the background, playing those adverts, and once I get to the end of the list of, I think I've got about 5, I'll go back and start them again. I have started reading some non-fiction books. So non-fiction is difficult for me. I really struggle with it, to be honest, but it's important. So I've started reading a book called British by Efwa Hirsch, which I downloaded the audiobook for, and it's actually narrated by Efwa Hirsch herself. And I just find audiobook the easiest way to consume non-fiction. Sorry if you can hear Shinji meowing in the background. So I started listening to that. I have another book by her that I'm going to listen to next, which is about the history of the British Empire, the true history of the British Empire, because that's another thing that is a problem, especially in the UK. I can't speak for the US education system, but in the UK we learn about slavery in America, but we don't learn about Britain's part in that. And the UK had a huge part in slave trade. We ran it, we were responsible for transporting slaves, and we had slaves here too. And the curriculum in the UK doesn't tell you about that. You don't learn about that in school. And that's not good enough either. So I'm going to be trying to re-educate myself on that as well. I have signed petitions. I have emailed my MP, and I have also emailed the relevant people in America about removing the licenses of the police officers involved in the murder of George Floyd. And I'm in the UK, so it's just an email. You don't need to be in the US to do that. I've done that this morning. Head over to Bowties and Books Instagram, and they have a link, a swipe up link. I will try to link that below if I can. That allows you to send that email as well. And literally click the link, click send. That's all you need to do. The email template is there. All of the email recipients are there. It'll take you 2 seconds. Do it. Ditto for the petitions. They take 2 seconds. Do it. I have had uncomfortable and upsetting conversations, and I've taken some steps at work too. So I have emailed my black students and colleagues just to check in on them. No need for them to respond. I just want them to know that I'm here to support them if they need it, if they want it. I am discussing with the university, I work at a university, what steps we can take to provide support for our black and minority ethnic students by reminding them about counselling services that the university already has available and that are confidential. And we have a BAME Advocates programme, so discussing how we can speak with them to see if there's anything specific they want to do without putting the onus on those students to tell us what they need. Because again, this is about us, white people, educating ourselves, taking steps ourselves to help, not relying on black people to tell us what we should be doing. They've been doing that for decades and we haven't been doing it. So now it's time for us to get off our backsides, get on Google and figure it out for ourselves. And that's why, again, I will leave a list of links down in the description that hopefully will be a start. Anybody else, leave links in the comments. Those will be a start. That's not the be-all end-all though. There's a lot that we can do. And also, I asked for the library to start making some anti-racism books available, which they have done. So I will be emailing my students to let them know that those resources are available for free through the university's library, and they can use those to educate themselves. I am in a financial position where I can afford to buy those books for myself, so I will leave those library copies available to students, and I will buy copies of those and any other relevant books for myself if they're non-fiction, probably audiobook versions. So those are a few of the things that I have done so far, and I need to do more, and I plan to do more. But just for a moment, I want to run through the books that I read in May. I read 13 books in May, and I'm just going to quickly run through what all of those books were. So we had The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson, Foundryside and Shorefall by Robert Jackson Bennett, The Unbound by Victoria Schwab, Lady Smoke by Laura Sebastian, Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, Roomies and Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren, The Keeper of the Lost Cities series, books 2, 3 and 4 by Shannon Messenger, The Paper and Heart Society, Read with Pride by Lucy Powery, and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Have you noticed anything? Think about it. I've noticed something, and I'm disgusted with myself. None of these books, not one out of the 13 books that I read in May, was written by a black person or by an author of colour. And that is a disgrace. I am ashamed of myself for that. And it needs to change. It's unacceptable. And it will not happen again. This is the point in the video where I usually discuss some of my statistics with you about my reading, but that's the only statistic that matters. It's the only one that matters. I didn't read not one book that wasn't by a white author. That's horrible. I don't even know what to say other than I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And it will not happen again. It will never happen again. I am learning, and I am doing everything I can to teach myself all these things that I should have already taught myself as quickly as I can. This needs to change. The footage that I have seen of what is happening in America right now, not just the murders, but the peaceful protesters who are being attacked, is just... There aren't words for it. There really aren't words for it. It needs to change. It's unacceptable. And I hate that I live in a world that behaves this way. And it's not just the US. It's not. It's here too, in the UK. It's everywhere. Throughout the world, and nothing is going to change if we don't change it. So please, do something. Do everything. I will do my best, my absolute best, to be an ally and to be anti-racist and to learn, and I will make mistakes, and when I do, I will say I'm sorry and I will learn from it, and it won't ever happen again. So I think that that's all I want to say for this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And that's it for this one. Thanks.